Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. This lesson, number 8, is called Where is Your Food From? We are talking about the food distribution system. Let's go to the first slide. The food distribution network. The food distribution network. Your food arrives at the store from a very intricate system. The farm produces the food using fertilizers, irrigation, and tractors. When the produce is ready for eating, workers harvest the vegetables and place them on a truck. Distribution centers consolidate vegetables from different farms and ship them to various stores where you can buy them. This system covers wide distances and allows stores to stock food from all over the world. Here we have a tractor hauling some bulk items. I say bulk items because I really have no idea what is in this green container. Could be corn, or I don't know, actually that's not, maybe canola, I don't know. Anyway, okay, a key vocabulary, intricate. Look, your food arrives at the store from a very intricate system. Having interrelated parts or complex, complicated. So the food comes from a complicated system. For example, fixing my car is an intricate process involving many tools. The intricacy of baking bread is not well understood by the customer. So we're saying baking bread is complicated and fixing the car is complicated. Similarly, this medieval sculpture, it is a structure, but it's a sculpture, is intricately crafted. The verb fertilize means to enrich or to make fertile. The fertilizer allows plants to grow. We completed fertilization of the soil for this year's crop. The lake is fertile for fish to live. That's a better example. Actually, this is like fertile, not fertile. The lake is fertile for fish to live. I guess you could say the lake is fertile for fish to live, but most people would say fertile. Okay. The fertility of the ground will determine if we can plant tomatoes. I hate tomatoes. I hate planting them, I hate growing them, and I hate eating them. Because they always die. The plants always die because there's bugs eating them. And it's acidic, it burns my stomach. Okay, anyway, the soil is fertile. Fertile. Damn it. Okay, we can plant corn and beans. Corn is beans are pretty easy too. But tomatoes is hard to grow, I tell you. Okay. Consolidate. That means to combine or to put together. So, for example, we consolidated 10 schools into one large school. So if you had like 10 schools in the neighborhood and you wanted to make one big school, you just put them all together. That's consolidating something, consolidated. Similarly, look at this. The consolidation of Pepsi and Coca-Cola leaves no small soda manufacturer left. So if Pepsi and Coca-Cola make one company together, that's consolidation. In business, consolidation usually means sticking two companies together or sticking two businesses together. Like, let's say General Electric, right? They make let's say they make windmills and they make solar panels, right? Well, they could consolidate the two divisions and stick them into one company. So consolidation can be two different companies or even within the same company. Anyway, to save time, you can consolidate your bills to one payment. Now this is different. This is when you have different credit card bills and stuff, and you put it all together with one payment with some company, and they give you a lower interest rate. So you're paying lower interest, and I don't know really how it works. because I don't have any debt. Like I don't go out and spend money with credit cards and buy sheep. Like if I go and I buy a whole bunch of sheep with my credit card, that would be kind of stupid. Actually, you know what? We have a food shortage, a food crisis. So if I borrowed a whole bunch of money on my credit card to buy sheep, and then we had a crisis and everybody was dying and hungry, then I would be smart. But you have to time that pretty well, right before a collapse. Okay, anyway, the sheep are consolidated next to the. I remember I made this example. I got these sheep are consolidated next to the fence. Now this is like you wouldn't usually say the sheep are consolidated. You just say the sheep are together. But I thought that was kind of a funny example. Now for the word distance, it can be used as a noun or a verb. The noun is the length or how far, like from here to here, it's the noun. You can also use it as a verb, is to move away, like okay, my mouse, the little pencil is distancing itself. The distance between here and Toronto is 5,000 kilometers. That's the noun. That's how far it is from here to Toronto. Or Toronto, as those goofballs say in Toronto. Anyway, we calculated the distance between the houses to be 100 meters. Well, that's great. John saw the bear and distances. John saw the bear and distanced himself from the animal. My gosh. So what we're saying is that John saw a bear and he ran away like a little girl. Oh my God. The sign says dangerous electricity is behind the bars. Put some distance between it and yourself. Don't go close to this sign because behind the sign somewhere is an electrical object with high voltage that will cause you to get shocked at a tremendous, painful surge of voltage. Anyway, where did I use distance in here? Look at that. The system covers wide distances and allows stores to stock foods from all over the world. So the distances the distances that food is coming from is wide. In other words, very long, very far. You know what I'm trying to say. Let me go back to my slide here. Trend? No. Oh, look at this. Is local food better? Yes. Okay. Local food is growing. No. Local food is a growing trend that has gained traction due to high oil prices. Shipping food from thousands of kilometers away is a costly process. However, oh, look at that. The cost of having local greenhouses is greater because of the heating, lighting, and infrastructure costs. You know, that's true. Greenhouses are not good, I think. Wastes too much power. Anyway, in addition, local food production in a northern climate only allows for one growing season per year. Having food production around the world allows for starving areas to receive food when their farms are not producing anything. Is your food local? Let's check out the example that I have here. Trend. The trend is the overall direction, or it also means many people doing the same thing. That's two nouns. Well, it's one noun used two ways. The latest trend is to wear a hat backwards. I remember that in the 1990s. When everybody was like, oh, it's so cool to wear your hat backwards or sideways. And these sunglasses, these are actually really old. Okay, the stock market is trending downwards today. The stocks are going, okay, trending downwards. Tom is very trendy. He always knows what is cool. I suppose. These glasses were one of many fashion trends of the 1950s. Yes, they were. I do not wear glasses because I fixed my eyes using Bates Method Natural Eyesight Improvement. I highly recommend it. Never go back to these horrible eye crutches. Next slide. Infrastructure. The facilities serving a city. Roads, trains, buildings, piping, etc. or the foundation. It also means the foundation of something. So, for example, we believe the infrastructure is in need of repair, starting with roads. Yes, so this road might be falling apart. It needs repair. Actually, my caption says the infrastructure is very new, so this wouldn't need repair, but other roads might. We should put infrastructure in place before we start getting customers. That's a good idea. The foundation is the starting. The starting for your business. It could be a building or a plan or some money. Yeah. Okay. Fluency practice. Keywords: intricate, fertilize, consolidate, distance, trend, and infrastructure. The intricacies of farming lie in the infrastructure. First, the fertilization must be enough, but not too much. If the soil is too fertile, plants will burn. If the soil's infertile, the plants will not grow. Trucks use infrastructure such as roads and bridges to transport produce over large distances. The intricate part of transporting food is avoiding spoilage. Spoilage is when the food goes bad before it can be consolidated at the store. The recent trend is to keep the food cool in refrigeration units, also called reefer units, while on the truck. Wow, that's an amazing article, don't you think? I wrote that myself. Beautiful. Look at that truck. Wow, so good. Do you want to go to the questions? Or we could do a little more here. Yeah, you see, spoilage? That's not good. When your food goes bad, spoilage, it doesn't have to happen before it gets to the store. It could happen after, I guess. And see this reefer unit? You know, reefer does have another meaning, so be careful when you say reefer. In fact, I don't recommend that you say reefer at all. Just say refrigeration units. But the truckers, they call them reefer units. 'Cause this means like smoking something bad. But the truckers do say reefer. But anyway, I'll do the questions now. Okay, which intricacy is most difficult? Putting salt on your potatoes, painting a wall, or carving a detailed sculpture of an ancient leader? Well, this is probably the most difficult. Right there, number C. Letter C. Carving a detailed sculpture of an ancient leader. Which is a consolidation trend? Well, let's find out. All companies are moving to one building, I should say. All companies are moving apart, or all companies are competing against one another. Well, consolidation means going together, so it has to be A. All companies are moving to one building. Which sentence uses distance correctly? The distance is 100 pounds. More distance is needed to crush the apples, or Ben distances himself from the big moose. The answer is C. Ben distances himself from the big moose. He's going away from the moose. Obviously, the distance cannot be pounds. It would have to be 100 kilometers or 100 miles or 100 feet or any unit of measurement in length. More distance is needed to crush the apples. No, it would be more weight is needed. More weight. Which is a benefit or... What? Okay, which is a benefit or a good thing of fertilization? Plants grow more effectively, stores can have different food, and fields have more infrastructure. Well, the best answer would be A. Plants grow more effectively. Although I guess it could sort of be this one. Stores can have different food. But not really. It's mostly A.